Good afternoon. In my last class with you on Keats's The Eve of St. Agnes, I offered you a very brief synopsis of what the narrative poem is about. In today's class, I'll be commenting critically on the atmosphere and setting of Keats's The Eve of St. Agnes. Perhaps the most notable feature of Keats's poem, The Eve of St. Agnes, that immediately strikes a reader is its evocation of a variety of atmospheres by means of carefully selected detail and a very strong appeal to sense. The work opens with what must be one of the most chilliest atmospheres in the whole of romantic poetry, reminding us that St. Agnes Eve is in the dead of winter, bitter chill, a cold, frozen grass, numb, frosted, are all words and phrases deliberately chosen by Keats to evoke both the bitter chill and the deadness of winter. Associated with these images are those of the ideas of silence, impotence in death. The hare can only limp, the flock is silent, the bedesman has only a tenuous hold on existence. He is about to die, perhaps. In the chapel, the sculptured dead seem to freeze. Then suddenly the contrast, bustle, noise, brightness, superbly summed up in the one blazing phrase, argent revelry. But this is not, after all, the true contrast with the deathly cold with which we begin. There is brightness here, implied through words such as silver, glowing, argent, but no warmth. The noise hurts the ear, Keats says, snarling trumpets, as the cold hurts the body. The whole scene is as lifeless as the carved angels, ever eager eyed. The revelers are like shadows to be wished away. The true life and warmth of the poem, The Eve of St. Agnes, are not to be found here but in the person of Porphyro and his love for Madeline. The emotional warmth which Madeline seeks is not to be found in the midst of noisy revelry. Many a tiptoe amorous cavalier approaches her, but she is dead in everything except a thought of St. Agnes and the visions of love she can bring. Even those are enchantments of cold, leaving Madeline asleep in lap legends old, as Keats says. Only Porphyro, by his love, can give her life and warmth, though, as is apparent later, coldness and death cannot be permanently dispelled. Porphyro in the poem can be interpreted as an embodiment of physical and emotional warmth. He comes, as Keats says, with his heart on fire. His heart is love's favorous citadel, and throughout the bedroom scene, he is the point of warmth set against the physical coldness of the room and the emotional coldness of Madeline's sleep. Warmth is provided especially by the color red and the light in the moon, in contrast to the artificial brightness of the revelry. Moonlight, which incidentally is a powerful symbol of chastity, used a number of times in romantic poetry, and redness, which is symbolic of passion, come together in the red light cast on Madeline's breast through the stained glass window, and Keats evokes it beautifully in those two lines. Full on this casement shone the wintry moon, and threw warm dews on Madeline's fair breast. In Madeline's bedroom, although we are not allowed to forget the cold or the harshness of the revels below, the setting has a richly sensuous and vital quality which mirrors the vitality of their love. The adornments of the chapel were cold and dead, but the principal adornment of the bedroom, a stained glass window, is full of life and color. How different are the carven imageries from the sculptured dead of stanza 2, growing things, fruits, flowers, Nodgrass, the colored paints reminiscent of the tiger moth. Even the heraldic devices have a lively quality, as Keats says, blushed with blood of queens and kings. The justly famous stanza, which incidentally stands at 24 of the poem, is not merely decorative, as were so many of the beauties in the earlier Keats. It contributes to the richness of the atmosphere. It provides the red light symbolic of Porphyro's love, and it reinforces the idea of love as a force for growth and creation. It is eminently notable to any reader that the flower imagery appears again, perhaps to express the physical consummation of their love, and that was the closest that Keats could actually go to imply consummation of their love. And as Keats says, into her dream he melted as the rose blendeth its odor with the violet. And the actual fruit laid out by Porphyro repeats the carved fruit of the window. The problem of Porphyro's purpose in setting out the cates and dainties has already been noted. Yet in the reading of the poem, it is a problem which scarcely worries us at all. So appropriately does the feast emphasize the richly sensuous nature of his love. While many poets appeal to our senses of sight and hearing, few have Keats's power to evoke the sensations of smell and taste. In stanza 30 of the poem, we sense the perfume light of the fruits and the spices evocative of the East. Even the word cedared brings a pungent smell to our minds. Tastes, or rather textures, are present in the milky smoothness of the jellies. Let us note the long vowels and the th sounds of the lines, the liquid, slightly gluttonous quality of the cordials, s sounds with the occasional t's, and the stickiness of the dates, s sounds interspersed with hard consonants. The proper names Fez, Samarkand, Lebanon hint at the exotic sensuality of the East. The brightness and color of the revelry below has its counterpart in the moonlight and warm colorings in Madeline's chamber. The noise of the revelry has its counterpart too. At the beginning of the poem, we heard the snarling trumpets, even while Madeline sleeps, and we have two very powerfully evocative lines written by Keats. And Keats says, "The boisterous midnight festive clarion, the kettle drum and far-heard clarinet affray his ears." Again, with the idea of a harsh, painful sound, the music of love is far different. Music so gentle, so much in the service of love, that we scarcely hear it in the hollow vowels and light consonants of another very powerfully written stanza. And Keats says, "He took her hollow lute, tumultuous, and in chords that tenderest be, he played an ancient ditty long since mute, in Provence called La Belle Dame Sans Mercy, close to her ear, touching the melody." The climax of this warm and richly sensuous section is, of course, the delicately worded physical consummation of stanza 36 of the poem. Instantly it is interpreted and interrupted by a storm outside beating with repeated T sounds against the window, reminding us that the love of Porfirio and Madeline is not an escape from the world, like love's alarm, and that the time for dreams is past. The storm, picking up the wintry coldness of the early stanzas, provides the background to the conversation and escape of the lovers. The revelers are also there again, though transformed to bloated wassailers, drowned all in Rhenish wine, sleeping a nightmare sleep, so that the poem ends as silently as if more sinisterly than it began. Thank you. This was my second part of the lecture on the Eve of St. Agnes. In a subsequent class, we'll be commenting on the Eve of St. Agnes as a quintessentially romantic poem. Thank you.